Together we rise, no room for fear. In this Super League we unite as one. With laughs and debates, the love never done.
Welcome back to Two Yachts for a Saint podcast, powered by Acorn Joinery Leeds. Jordan, you've been a busy boy over the last week, haven't you? Updated all this. Yeah,
I know I have.
Yeah. So, Karl, take us away, man.
Yeah. First of all, fellas, pardon the punt, but we are three very happy Easter bunnies, aren't we? After our, teams win, another hat trick for the podcast. Obviously, Leeds got a win over Bradford. Gaz got an absolute remarkable win over the Pies, and obviously we got me meaning Hull KR getting a win over that lot from across the river. So yeah, happy for all three. Yeah, very. Yeah, no worries. Welcome, Barry, as always, pal. Yeah, so like I say, three happy bunnies. Just before we get into the results, fellas, just a quick reminder to the viewers. Obviously, community WhatsApp group that's available if you click the link in our bio, and also please make sure you've got your notification bell on for any live updates, etc. Round 7 rival rounds, fellas, as we touched on a minute ago. Good Friday.
Right, hang on, everyone else here, Karl echoing, and me.
No,
yeah, there's a little bit of I can hear a slight echo. Must admit.
You on speaker though, Jordan?
I'm on speaker.
Yeah, instead of a earphone or something. Then we can hear ourselves through your mic.
Yeah, there's a bit of
Is it that thing
going on.
Yeah, just bring the mic closer to you.
That sound better?
I think so.
Yeah, that's far better, mate. Let's crack on.
Listen, if Willie Peters will start playing that lad, then you may as well just get rid of him now instead of waiting to the end of the season.
We'll get on with Agent Bill Leyland a bit later on when we look at
Agent Bill
this game.
Special agent
sent him to do a job. Special Agent Bill Leyland's definitely done the job, so he'll be returning to HQ, no doubt. First game on Good Friday, my beloved Hull KR get a 24 points to 6 win over the black and white other side of the river. You know what's. I'm going to try and keep it as clean as possible. What I would say is, yet again, like I've said numerous times about Rovers, to be fair, they weren't actually that good, but they clearly had enough to beat that lot. They showed some patches of resilience throughout the game. There's as anybody will tell you when you play at OKR, 8% of the time there's a hell of a wind, and that wind was there on Friday. A lot of drop balls from both teams, a lot of unforced errors. So yeah, it was a bit of a scrappy one. I'd probably say it was a typical derby. The quality wasn't quite there, but obviously everything's on the line. Blood, sweat, and tears. Yeah, it was one of them.
Be honest, Karl. Be honest. That was a try from Lewis Martin.
Yeah, well, I was just about to say that there was a few talking points within the game. I mean, where we were stood on the big screen, they kept looking at this angle from behind. And to me, it didn't look like he dropped the ball. And then they showed an angle from the other side. Now, I've got lots of family and friends who are black and whites, as a lot of people will know. But ultimately, yes, they probably should have got that try. But would that have made them win the game? Probably not. So you can clutch at straws as much as you want. If buts and maybes, all irrelevant. No, it's right though, isn't it? Because sometimes they go for you, and sometimes they'll go against you, fellas. And, I've been on the other end of them decisions where you go home and you think, oh, well, referees this, referees that. That should have happened. He should have got sent off.
For me, it's always about opportunity. So it's, who's to say that didn't turn the game? Do you know what I mean? Who's to say they didn't get a rod up the backside and go, right, we've got to try it. We'll get back it. Look, perfect example of Wigan Saints.
Yeah. Oh, no, I get all people's opinions, and coulda, woulda, shouldas, but we don't deal in coulda, shoulda, wouldas. We deal in what happened at that time of the game.
Speaking of which, someone's missing from the comments, by the way.
He's not in, is he?
He's clearly scared to show his face this week, isn't he? Going back to the black and whites. To be fair to them, Rovers came out firing quite fast in the first 20 minutes or so, and I was quite impressed by the black and whites. That even though the score I think was only 10-0 at that point, they did well to stay in the half time, because I've seen it before where Rovers blow teams away in the first 20 minutes and that's it, it's lights out. But they managed to hang on, get through to the second half, and they sort of built the way into the game a little bit. There's just a few things that didn't go their way, but ultimately, like I said, I'm not
Tyrone May played really well.
Yeah, he's very underrated in my opinion.
No, I agree. He is.
Mikey gets a lot of plaudits, and rightly so. But ultimately, at one point during that game, it was him that made that break and got that momentum back.
It sometimes makes Mikey look better.
He does, mate. Yeah, they definitely dovetail nicely, the pair of them. It was just, I just thought Hull FC showed a little bit of fight, but no quality, and that's not being me sour grapes. They had some opportunities when Rovers dropped the ball, but they couldn't capitalise. So I know people will always talk about that Lewis Martin no try, but even before that, they was dropping a lot of ball, and Rovers was making them punish.
To be fair, Carl, he's right. He's Bazza. When I lost Asiata, that would have been a difference. I'll be honest. That did make a difference in game, I thought.
I'll get on to Asiata.
I'll be honest.
News round.
I'll be honest. I didn't see much of that game. I was too busy drinking to prepare myself for our game.
Nah, that's unlike you, Gaz.
No, I don't. I never drink me.
That's why Brewdog's getting taken over. You've drunk them dry, haven't you?
Hey, I'll tell you what. I have a good go of it at the match day. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, that's it. But yeah, I know what you're saying about Asiata, mate. But it's one of them. There's a reason why Lee only offered him a year deal, and Hull FC wanting to give him 3 years. So sometimes it's one of them. You've got to be careful what you wish for. And we all know when he's fit, he's one of the best 13s in the competition. But ultimately, he's not fit enough of the time. So yeah, I mean, Rovers was, like I said earlier on, probably not at the best, but was good enough to win in the end. Hull FC did show a bit of fight, and that's credit to them. The quality wasn't there, and it doesn't help when you've got Asiata coming off. I think Jake Arthur, he pulled out before the game with a calf injury. Obviously, they've got multiple players missing. Will Price up fullback, and it's a sorry, turn of events when a Hull KR fans trying to make excuses for a black and white, but ultimately that is the reality of the situation they're in. Yeah, plenty of fight, but I thought the scoreline was about right in the end. Rovers took the chances when Hull FC knocked on, and obviously Hull FC never took the chances when Rovers made them mistakes. So yeah, it's pretty much a routine win in the end for the Robins. Going on to the 2:30 game, Gaz, your game, St Helens versus the Pies. Come on, mate. I know you're absolutely
yeah, but I'm going to answer Bazza here, and you're absolutely spot on there. Probably is why we didn't renew his contract. He was just getting injured all the time. I mean, 2022, he was unbelievable all season, and even before that, but after that, I just kept getting injured. So
yeah, you said that. You said that last year, didn't you?
Yeah. So,
and that's what I was trying to say. That what I was trying to get out with Asiata a minute ago when Jordan mentioned that.
Yeah.
I can't stand here and call Hull FC all the time because people and the viewers who are listening will say, well, he's a Rovers supporter. He's never going to back anything that Hull FC do. No, I try and take my Rovers cap off. You've got multiple players that Hull FC have signed. Asiata, Batchelor, Will Price. They're all injury prone, and two of them at the very back end of the career. So when they're existing clubs before the transfer are only offering them one year deals, it's pretty much what's coming. But then these idiots from across the river go and offer them a three-year deal on big money.
These idiots.
So, yeah, but you get what I'm saying, fellas, don't you? It's like you're asking for everything you get. You're asking for everything you get.
They're always in like a bit of a transitional period all the time. All that they're always changing props. They're always rotating forwards. Like there's always some movement in the team.
Yeah, it's like, again, it's another prime example. Jed Cartwright coming across last year. He's more time on that injury bench than any other back row in the NRL was. Do you know what I mean? So they take these massive risks by signing these players, and 90% of the time they don't pay off. But then then they have to eat humble pie. So any other supporter who knows anything about rugby league, regardless if you support Hull KR or bloody Featherstone Rovers, if you've seen the tale before, you know what's coming.
It's what Warrington's downfall's been on it for the last 5-6 years or whatever.
Yeah, exactly, mate. So, in a way, as much as they showed a bit of fight on Friday, I don't feel sorry for them so much because they're supposed to have this money man now with Richie Myler's father-in-law, whoever it is, and Richie Myler, he's sort of running the club, and it's like, well, they're clearly not learning from past mistakes because they're doing the same processes over and over again. So, like I say, fellas, I could rant all day about that, as you know, but I don't feel sorry for them.
The less said about Richie Myler, the better.
Yeah, exactly. But you get my point, don't you? So we'll move on swiftly, fellas. Gaz, give us your opinions and thoughts from your absolutely brilliant fight back against the Pies on Good Friday, mate. I bet he was absolutely over the moon with that one.
Yeah, it was funny you mentioned injuries and humble pie in the same sentence because that's exactly where I'm going as well. Listen, as I said last week, I don't think any Saints fan was expecting us to win that game. We just thought as long as he put up a bit of a fight and show some balls, we're happy with that. Then, as you call Agent Bill, come in off the bench, and the game just changed. And I'm just stood there like, oh yeah, well we're getting beat, but they're having a go. 2 points down at half time, happy with that. And then, where is he? No, the best thing about it was that first try that Leyland scored. First thing that Clemmer does is right in the face at Wiggy fans, giving them all kinds. And then they start throwing bottles on the pitch. So like, you behave your bloody selves, grow up.
Yeah, going back to the game itself, though, Gaz. You was never. I know Wigan scored a try, and you thought it was other type of thing, but I never. When I watched, I got back home. By the time I got back home from our game, I probably watched all of second half. I mean, to me, I wasn't thinking, Wigan have absolutely blowed Saints away. Yeah.
No, we were never out the game, and we did go down. Like, was it 14 points? But
14 points, yeah.
4 tries in 9 minutes. Who does that?
It was that Eccles they tried in corner. I thought that sealed the game.
When the commentator said, they've won the derby now. Have they now? We'll soon see about that.
I mean, there's not many teams that would come back from that. That is, if you're a fan of Saints or just watching the game in general as a neutral, most people would look at that and go, "That's probably game over," because it were 9 minutes, something like that left, 10 minutes, something like that, and you've got to get yourself back in. Wigan, in my eyes, weren't going to just turn off, but I don't think they did. I think Saints just turned on. I think they took their opportunities when they got them, and that found the way to dig in.
Yeah, I think what helped was the players got us back into the game as well, as in the crowd, because we started making more noise then. The Hastings tried, fair enough. Then Sailor went over, got half a chance here. Then when Leyland bundled himself all, that was it. The roof came off, and even more so for his second try. I mean, I was jumping around, shirt off, swinging it around my head and everything.
That we can say, though. We can say they got field back, didn't they? So looking at 1 to 30,
honestly, right, I'm going to go up there. I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it publicly, and I don't care how much grief I get. Jay Field is nothing without Bevan French. He's just a fast pair of feet, and that is it.
No, I can agree with that.
He's not got Bevan French to play off.
Yeah, just
Wigan, I don't care.
Excuse me, fellas. just while we're on obviously, there's 2 teams within that game. I mean, are we seeing a bit of change with Wigan here? Because we know French can be injured, but majority of the time he comes back at the end of the season and they end up doing the business, don't they? More often than not.
Yeah.
Are we seeing the thingy with Wigan now where there's a little bit of a slum and a bit of they're not quite at it, are they? Whereas in previous years, no disrespect to St. Helens, Wigan had scored that Eckersley try, and they'd have probably ran another 2 or 3 tries in. So they don't seem to be as ruthless as they have been in the past. That's what I'm trying to say.
This what I was saying, like this today in the group, like we with what Wigan had and what we had, they should have shut up shop there, and that should have been game over. They should have just seen that out more. I don't know what it is. I think they just did switch off. Especially, I mean, how many times you see Jay Field cough the ball up like that, then Laird pounced on it.
Well, that one for his second try where it bounced over his head.
Yeah,
he went like.
I think when Hastings and Sailor scored, they got a bit rattled. I think they just sort of their asses dropped.
I think Baz has said it spot on really a few weeks back when we had him on, and he was saying about Wigan just kind of being under the radar. I think that's kind of what they are doing. Like we discussed this last year, when they got to final with Rovers, we knew that they had a bit of a slump, didn't they, towards the end of the season, and we all said, didn't we, that we knew they'd come firing at the end. And it's one of those, like, Wigan are always going to be good with wings, centres. I know they've lost Wardle, haven't they? Which obviously is a big impact, but you got Eckersley, you got Marshall. The wings itself kind of sort themselves out. Do you know what I mean? They've probably still got the best number 2 second choice wingers, probably the most normal teams, to be fair. They always do a job. I think the way Faramond plays alongside Smith, I think they are all right. You know what I mean? They obviously are losing that bit of flair without French. Obviously, that goes without saying, but they should have won that game. They should have won that game 100%. And in fact, the game would have kicked off and it'd have been 36-6 or something to Wigan, final result. I'd have been like, all right, fair enough. I wouldn't have been absolutely shocked by it, but I have to give credit to Saints. I really do. Like, take it bull from the horns, if that's the right word. Like, literally done and out.
When Bill Leonard scored that try, it was an absolute party in that West Stand.
I can imagine.
It went off.
His agent went back on phone to Rovers going, I'm not coming back.
And as I said to you in the chat, you're welcome.
Yeah, and you know what as well? I wouldn't blame Willie Peters to keep hold of him. Especially this week, he doesn't want him cup tied, which you understand completely. But I believe Rowley's just looking at the availability for him after this week.
Yeah,
if we need him, we'll see what happens.
I tell you when he went in and scored that winner. Sorry, mate.
I bet you had a right smile on your face, didn't you?
I had a slight grin on my face, but then what caught my attention more than that was when he scored the try, the camera went up to the box where Lee Breers and Rowley were, and Lee Breers is sticking an absolute sweaty kiss on Mr. Rowley's face, and I think Rowley was nearly ready to cry. So obviously,
Rowley was laughing his head off
to him.
I think jokes aside, though, I think surely if you're a nice, obviously we know Willie Peters is a nice guy, obviously, but surely you'd put it to the lad and be like, it's going to be hard getting over Lytton, it's going to be hard getting over X, Y, and Z or whatever to play. You can stay at Saints and play while they've probably got a few injuries or whatever. Give him that option, I would say, and then leave it up to him what he decides he wants to do.
Do you know what I genuinely think will happen? And people keep saying this to me, like, just because we've got 3 hookers, it don't mean we can't play or select all 3 hookers within the squad, because Karl Orton, he can play it loose and he can play in the back row. So straight away, that makes a bit of space for Bill Leyland. And the 4 years that Willie Peters has been at Rovers, he's always had the mentality and the mindset of, if you deserve to play, you'll play. And you'll play to keep your place. So if he's seeing performances like this from Bill Leyland, there's a good chance he's going to bring him up and give him an opportunity.
That's what I always admired with Leeds. back in the day when they used to stick Maguire at scrum half and Sinfield at standoff, and then they'd play like Dave Ferner or Willie Poach, whatever at loose, and have Burrow off at bench, like, Sinfield in a standoff, but it worked. Do you know what I mean? If there's a way to rotate your team, and like say that they're too good to keep out, then fair play.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, it's.
On the flip side of that, he could also say, listen, I do want to keep you, but I want you getting more game time. Keep going back, or go to this club or that club or whatever. Doesn't necessarily have to be yours. You can just go anywhere. So I believe Gould were interested, weren't they, as well at the same time?
Yeah, I think there'll be quite a few interested after that performance on Good Friday, mate. Nobody's going to turn him away, are they, after a performance like that? That's for sure.
Oh no, certainly not.
Wigan will hate him now.
Well, he gave it one of them to the Pies, didn't he? And when he had an interview afterwards, he basically said he'd got a bit of flack from the Wigan support before, so it was just a bit of friendly fire, shall we say? That's what Bill said on.
Basically, one of them to Wigan.
Yeah, well, yeah, whichever way you want to take it, mate. But no, all credit to Saints. Wigan left the back door open from, and Saints literally had, they was good enough to take that opportunity. So
kick the door down.
Has absolutely kicked the door down. What a comeback, and what have deserved 2 points from the St Helens club. Jordan, your turn, pal. On to the Bradford Leeds game. It was an 8 o'clock kickoff on Friday night. Our lass was absolutely loving it because went to our game.
Hang on. We have the latest Salford podcast in here. Bring on the Salford. Welcome in. How are we doing?
Yeah, welcome all.
Evening.
Yeah, so what was I saying? So our lass was absolutely loving it because me being the gentleman I am, I took her to the game on Good Friday. Then I treated her to fish and chips. And then we watched the second half of the Saints game. And then we had a couple of drinks. And then watched your game, Jordan, the 8 o'clock kickoff, Bradford versus Leeds. Rhinos
also, just quickly, congratulations, Salford, on the derby win as well this weekend.
Yeah. That's it, mate. It's
I bet Woody was going mental.
Woody was so busy pinning up his bar with Easter decorations, apparently.
Wrong way around.
Yeah, upside down, back to front, and inside out. But he got him up ultimately. That's what their last sent him for. Jordan, so your game 24 points to 12 in favour of the Rhinos, mate. Just give us a bit of an insight to what happened to that game, and was you happy with the performance overall?
I think it was as expected, bit of a grindy game. Very much similar to Warrington game in some aspects. I'm not a fan of Odsell, I'll be honest. I know I was saying in group, when I was watching game,
as they call it, Sodal Stadium.
He seemed like it was a really tight pitch. Like we just couldn't seem to pass the ball around enough. Like obviously, I know that's with every team this year, obviously, but I think the only team who could play on that pitch were Bradford because they didn't seem to, have any worries. But I think we just struggled in a lot of areas on that pitch. I thought we just were a bit sluggish to start with. I think I think commentators were even saying maybe Sivo got wrong studs and stuff because obviously he made a couple of little silly errors. I think it might have been something like that as well. I think maybe players didn't get the right studs on pitch because they were definitely weren't at the races in the facts of like making breaks like they usually would. And it was just a very much pass and take your tackle sort of game. And then we somehow broke away. And there were a lot of times in that game where I was thinking, is this going to happen? Because it'd be so us to get beat. And it'd have been one of those games where it'd been like, right, fair enough, we've had a bad game again. And I was never confident, especially when our man Connor Wynn went over. It kind of got a bit tough again. You know what I mean? I thought we had him a little bit, and then when he went over, it was a bit like we're back in this dogfight again. But yeah, I think we did enough. We did enough in the game. I think when it's a derby like that, I don't think you can really take performance. I think it's just a gritty game of, you just got to get the 2 points.
Yeah, that's what you can do. That is them. It don't matter how good or bad you play on derby day. You just got to get the 2 points. I mean, I said that about Rovers. Obviously, Gaz did it in style and nicking it at the end. And obviously, the thing is with that Bradford as well, mate. The Odsal now, it's everything in their favour. Teams are going to go there, and not just Rhinos. Teams will struggle there, especially on a nighttime kickoff. The floodlights aren't really up to much. It's in a hole in
you
the
said it a bit
underground.
dark,
The
didn't you?
floodlights have got dimmer switches on so they can turn it down so no one
Yeah.
can see what they're doing.
I know Jordan was complaining the other week about the lights going out at Wakefield, but these lights aren't even that bright at Bradford, so they'll use
I said you didn't say it's sparky.
Yeah, but jokes aside, they'll use that.
Floodlights off TMU.
Yeah, that's it. They'll use it to their strength when opposing teams are coming over, though, especially night games, like I said. So it's the
What
only
you
thing.
saying though, Carl?
With Bradford,
What you were saying, Carl? Like goal lines were a bit smaller.
yeah, the in goals are so tiny. So that's certainly not going to help teams when they go there and they try putting grubbers in
Practice
extra.
full Stratford, that, innit?
Yeah, I mean, I
It
don't know.
It was that comment I got. I think it were TikTok or Facebook. I can't remember what it was, and it were back here again at this pit or something.
Oh dear.
They would just showed you zoom out at pitch, and it was just like a field in middle. It was like they were going to a farm or something. It was just ridiculous. Not like
it will be a leveler, that's for sure. It's just I don't know. Job was done for the Rhinos, but in terms of the Bradford Bulls, fellas, I mean, when they did have moments in the game and they scored tries, the only thing that stood out for me was that it looked like they struggled to convert the kicks. I mean, Rowan Mills, we had him at Rovers for a while. I don't know his percentages, but he's not. I wouldn't say he's a 90% goal kicker. So when they're on topping games, they need to convert tries, and if they don't, I think they'll struggle with that. So,
am I on it? Who can see Carl frozen?
Yeah, he is frozen for me. It's still here, clear. It's just your videos.
I can see you both.
visuals
I've just got
frozen.
a black screen for some reason. I'll bob out and come back in.
I go on.
See if that fixes it up.
Oh, that's just grasped me up for being shit at my job now, isn't it?
He's on my Rhinos badge.
Yeah, I did do it the other way around. Then it just switched when I go. Oh, like balls to it. Too much messing about. Like, oh yeah, no one's going to see you behind. Oh yeah, great. Should I move us on to Warrington and Lee? I don't know what's going wrong at Lee at the minute. There's just a shadow of what they used to be. That's better.
Right. You've got me.
Just brought up
it's
the
a
next
weird
game,
one,
Warrington Lee, trying to work out what's gone wrong at Lee.
Yeah, it's. I think it's ever since Jordan said they're going to win silverware. That's what seems to be the most striking thing for me.
I mean,
since
yeah. I've not seen them being that bad since when they were like fighting for relegation, promotion. Those seasons where they were going down, coming up, and obviously they've got the quality. Obviously, I don't know the ins and outs of if they've got injuries or what, but they should be doing better than that.
Yeah, I know. Like you say, every team's got injuries, fellas, but Lee have dealt with them injuries in the past quite well. But at the minute, they just seem to, fall apart, and they can't keep any sort of attack out from the opponents. Obviously, we know Warrington running red hot at the moment, and they've literally put 42 unanswered points on Lee, really, barring one try from the Leopards. And I think Adrian Lang came out at the end of the game and just basically said it's not acceptable. Now, it's his job to do something about it, whether it's acceptable or not. So he's definitely got his work cut out to try and turn it around, Gaz. I mean, is it as bad as saying as they've got injuries and they just need some bodies back, or do you think it's a bit deeper than that, mate?
Well, First, I'm going to say, no, it's taking nothing away from Warrington. They are looking like a contenders this year, but you know what they're like. They win it in April every year, so we'll see what happens there. Yeah, I've said early on with Lee, the starting 13 or the 17 is brilliant. The depth has always been the issue, and we're finding that out now.
Yeah,
I think what they've done, Carl, for the last few years is, I think they've been like, not like bragging, but like they know, or they have known that they're a top six side, and they've had that bit of cheekiness about them, that little bit of cockiness of, we'll come in a game, we can beat anyone on the day, you know, they can put Leeds to bed, they can, you know, beat Saints, Hull KR, Wigan. But I think now maybe they've been found out, where like they've been taking a peg down and being like, right, we actually do need to start playing again. I think obviously people going about when they play at home and they have such a good fan atmosphere and they seem to play really well at home. But obviously this year it just seems to have gone out window, doesn't it?
Yeah, I don't know. I can't put my finger on it because, like I said, you can make excuses all day long for every team having injuries, but the Adrian Lamb teams I've seen in the past is the gritty, the determined. They've got a few players who'll throw the ball about and ask questions. But what I've seen of them in recent weeks, they've just been very pedestrian in what they're trying to achieve and what they're trying to do. And it's like, in one way, it's like they're trying to make shortcuts on the field. And I think that clearly shows when they can't defend their own line. And obviously that's why Adrian Lamb's obviously not happy with the players that are taking the field. So it's an awkward one, but we're only round 7. Obviously, there's plenty of time for them to turn it around. They just don't want to be stuck to the bottom of that
on
ladder.
That comment there as well. I mean,
yeah.
Nearly lost you both.
His dad's froze now.
Yeah, they've played us, and you know they beat us soundly, but you know they haven't played Wigan or KR yet, so we'll see what goes.
Yeah, it's,
that's the thing with Warrington though. Like obviously we always say, or they always say it's their year, but they've got to play to their standards to get even anywhere near. Do you know what I mean? So whether it's their year or it's not their year, they've got to play like this to at least get in the front door in a sense, haven't they? Do you know what I mean? Like you're not gonna win the league by being mediocre. You've got to, you know, blowing teams away. Didn't they put 76 or 74 past Castleford of a week? Which not many teams can do, let's be honest. But it is such a Warrington thing to do, if that makes sense. Like, you don't see Leeds putting 70 points past the team. I know Rovers did a couple last year. But, like, it's such a statement win when you get a result like that. And when it comes to end of season and the trophyless, it's kind of worthless, isn't it? Of like, right, well, we've done all this all season, and then we've just got to final rounds, and we haven't made playoffs again. We've been beaten by big teams. You know, what have we actually achieved? So, I think he's come off, hasn't he?
The good thing I would say is about Warrington is whether you like Sam Burgess or not, mate. He's a level-headed fella. So I know in his post-match interviews, etc., that he's had so far this season, he's literally just said, "Look, we're not getting carried away. We're all grounded within the club. We're going to continue working hard, etc., regardless if they win or they lose." So I think at the moment, they've played 6 like us. I think he's going to keep them where they need to be. And hopefully they can carry that form onto the back end of the season.
What do you think about his comment?
Now. Say again, mate.
What do you think about his comment?
Which one?
Wade Burgess.
I must have missed it, mate.
He said they were asking him, saying about playing so well, and saying, commentator said, "You could tell me to pipe down if you want, but like." Are you happy like where you are so far, blah, blah, blah. And he just said, yeah, pipe down to commentate. But he apologised at the end. But it just seemed so weird. Do you know what I mean? Like, he went, "Oh, I'm sorry for saying pipe down. I was just joking." You'll have to watch it back. And it was just
Probably
like...
his witty banter.
Yeah, but it was just weird how it was said, because it was like, why would you tell him to pipe down? He's praising you for a good result. Like, you know,
Right.
it was almost like it got him a little bit like he's expecting him to drop or something, you know, in form. It's just, we only go off what we go off, don't we? Do you know what I mean?
I suppose it's could compare it to a father sort of protecting the kids in a way, couldn't you? That's what it sort of comes across to me. So I mean, I'm fairly certain if they're playing this well at the back end of the season, then they'll be in for some, you know, semi-finals and finals, etc. So, like I say, with Warrington, we'll keep watching them, mate, and hopefully they can get somewhere near where they need to be. So they got a 42 points to 6 win over the Lee Leopards. The other game on Saturday, Huddersfield 34, York 14. And that's back-to-back wins for the Giants at the minute, Jordan. They've got a few bodies back and they seem to be going well.
Yeah, I think it's more the confidence. I'm being honest. I think they're finding is it Finn who took over?
Yeah.
Like I say, I don't know what he's doing to them, but he's obviously got them playing. Like I say, I've said this, you know, numerous weeks. I did feel sorry for Luke Robinson. I don't think he necessarily did anything wrong to get the sack. I think, you know, they did need bodies back. And I think when you're Huddersfield and you're not, we said this last year, when you're not signing the, you know, A-list players, if you want to say it, because they don't want to come to play Huddersfield. I mean, apart from maybe Burgess going over, which would obviously a big signing, which obviously won't be cheap. But, you know, they're not attracting these big players, so they've kind of got to make do who they've got. And, you know, they are probably expected bottom of league or roundabout. But, you know, it's like when you look at Lee aren't really where they should be. Oh, he's here. Teenage Warrior's here. Oh, look how he actually was late
all
for
the
once.
cats dragged in here.
He's here.
Can we
We've
go
already
back
done
to the
Saints
couple
game,
of
mate.
games before? Just rewind a little bit.
It seems very convenient that he's turned up late, that's for sure.
Go on.
Just touching on the Giants, guys, we just mentioned before you come back on that. Back-to-back wins now. They've got some bodies back from injury. I bet Luke Robinson's absolutely thinking, well, I could have got another week, surely.
Yeah, I think it is a bit harsh on him, but I mean, at the end of the day, you know, it's the nature of the beast, isn't it? The results aren't coming, then, you know, you change things up. But like I say, I mean, Adam Swift come back as well. He made an impact as soon as he come back. You know, as a player, I've always rated him. Like at Saints, I never wanted him to go. To be honest, I always liked him, but
I like him.
you know, he's still proving his worth.
Yeah,
it's very much, guys, like with Huddersfield, like it is for Toulouse, like it's for Bradford, like it is for York. Do you know what I mean? You're not expecting maybe Bradford, but you're not expecting York and Toulouse to do as well as they're doing. And obviously Huddersfield, maybe Castleford are in that bracket where they are kind of the similar sort of side where, you know, they can be beaten. You're not expecting them to get a lot of wins in the season. But what comes with, you know, maybe a poor squad or not enough bodies, whatever, it comes with, like, say, determination and finding that gel within the players and that determination to wanting to play well. And Huddersfield, fair play to them, they found that, you know, whether it continues or not, they've got that in the last couple of weeks. They've found that formation that works, and all they can do is just keep going. So, literally, fair play to Huddersfield. I hope they continue.
Yeah, I mean, on the other side of it, you could have all the best players in the world. If you're not coaching them right, they're not going to play right.
Yeah.
In my opinion, so
Yeah.
there is the flip side of that.
Yeah, no, that is true. That is very true. That guys.
We've seen it numerous times, haven't we?
Yeah, I mean, one thing we need to do is we need to credit the Huddersfield Giants and especially the fan base, because everybody's slated them since the first game of the season, apart from the last 2 weeks. So when it's getting tough, and I see other podcasts and other things on social media and all the rest of it, and people slating them, saying they shouldn't be in Super League, etc., and the players aren't good. Well, you know, there's a middle finger to you. And when they have got somebody's back, they clearly show they can put a run of games together. You know what I mean?
The only thing I'll say though, Gaz, on that front is, you know, when you're on about the grading and all that stuff, I don't understand how Huddersfield got a good grading, not with the pitch. When, you know, we were saying it a few weeks back, they were struggling to get fans in, weren't they? And it's almost a little bit like with London Broncos. If you can't fill your stadium, that's obviously a big cross in your name. But I don't know. Maybe they need to change stadiums. I don't know.
The problem is, mate, there's that much criteria you have to meet. Just because you support, you know, your fan base isn't big, doesn't mean necessarily that means that's a cross against your name, because they could be ticking four or five other boxes, not two.
Yeah,
so
true.
A lot more goes into making the decision to make the criteria than people actually think. So I don't think you can just say.
Speaking on this game as well with York, what the bloody hell does John Bennett have to do to get a game?
I was going to mention that.
Maybe what?
It's just, what does John Bennett have to do to get a game Rugby League at York?
I actually was going to ask this guy, where is he?
Is he injured? I don't know. I don't know if he's injured or not. But
I was literally going to say this to you the other week. I would say, where the fuck is he?
You know, but he's one of those players who he won't spit his tongue out if he's not playing. He'll be patient. He'll wait. He'll do a job when he's called upon. So I don't know what's going on, unless for whatever reason, Mark Applegarth just doesn't like him.
No, it'd been first name on my sheet.
Oh, I'd play him over Danny Richardson, put it that way.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I'm allowed to say that, being bad the Permanent Saints, I know.
Yeah, I know, mate.
It'd
be nice to find out what's going on with John Bennison. So if he's in the, obviously, York fans, that's
nice
podcast,
lad as well.
I'd love to know.
Nice lad. You know, I don't know. It's weird. He's got a grand final final belt, for crying out loud.
I think, just touching on York before we move on, I think you're seeing from York what we sort of expected, that, you know, they've started strong, but now they've got a few niggly knocks to key players. I think the squad's becoming stretched now, and they've got a game on Saturday against us. So it could be a really dangerous game because nobody probably expects York to win. So, I mean, they just need to get a couple of bodies back because, you know, more so than none, they need them more than anybody else. So, fair play to the Giants. So they came up with a 34 points to 14 victory over the York Knights. The last game on Saturday night was the small matter of a French derby. Catalan there came out with a 33-26 win over Toulouse Olympique.
Cracking game,
I don't know if. Yeah, I don't know. I was just about to say, guys, I don't know if you saw any of the game, but it was certainly an entertaining one.
Yeah, I think taking me Saints hat off for what we done, I'm going to say that's the game of the round.
Yeah.
Good call. It was one of them where ebbed and flowed, and at times I don't think it was a great watch, but if you was a neutral watching it, it was certainly a very good watch. There was plenty of attacking play. Yeah, there's plenty.
You've got two French teams, and you wanted them to battle like that, aren't you?
Yeah, and I think Gaz said last week the attendance for that game would go up, and it did go up. Yeah. You know, so fair play to them, because again, they're two teams where I could say, well, we don't need any French teams in the Super League, and you could bring that argument back, couldn't you? But they're certainly ticking a box at the minute, and they're giving some entertaining rugby, as well as, you know, the crowds are sneaking up. So it can only be good for the Super League fellas. I mean, I just don't. With Catalan, we're a little bit. You don't know who's going to turn up with Catalan, because they got beat by Hull FC the week before. They turned us over the week before that, and then they just literally got over the line against Toulouse. So I'm pretty sure Joel Tompkins will be scratching his left nutsack, thinking, "What the bloody hell's going on here? We need some consistency." I mean, they've got some big signings like Toby Sexton and Charlie Staines out the back, guys. I mean, surely they're going to find some consistency soon.
Joe, what I think, and it might sound harsh on Joel, but he's still a very inexperienced coach. You know, he was assistant for a year, and he got thrown into the full-time job. But again, you can put all these great players together. If they're not being coached right, they're not going to play right.
No, it's certainly a good point you make, that's for sure. And yeah, just to close out rival round Sunday's game, Castleford 0, Wakefield Trinity 34. I mean, I think the
I
scoreline.
didn't expect any less. The first scoreline.
I think all four of us predicted a Trinity win, didn't they? Even Tom chipped in last week and said, he fancies a Wakey win. None of us was wrong. I mean, Jordan, apart from that miraculous win they got last week, the Cast Tigers, I mean, they're in a real hole, mate. I mean, the thing that stands out for me is the pack's not very strong at all.
Yeah, no. I think it was just one of those. I think it was one of those games where, like I say, I think we know Cass are going to struggle. Just like Huddersfield have struggled, and Wakefield have just started to play well, haven't they? I was surprised as at 0. Obviously, you don't ever really want to see any clubs getting whitewashed, but I think it's just a fair credit to Wakefield. I think they're finding the form again now. I know Jowett came back, didn't they? They've got Leno back. Obviously, I don't know what's happened with Sinfield. Don't know if that means he's paying palmed off because he won't even on bench. So I'm hoping that's not a regular thing and he's not getting dropped, because that'd be a bit out of line in my opinion. But it were also nice to have both his podcast friends, Connor Wynn and Cam Scott, score this weekend, which were nice. I just think I just don't think Cass have got much to go off really at the moment. I think, like I say, it's quite if you're a Cass fan, it's quite poor, isn't it? It's results that going your way. They're not, they were all right last week, like I say, but then they're a bit yo-yo, aren't they? So I think it's very much similar to what Teenage Warrior said on comments when he said about Catalans. I think form is very up and down. To be fair, across the park, really. Like I say, Leeds weren't fantastic against Bradford. They weren't fantastic in areas of Warrington. I think probably I would say Leeds' best game were probably Vegas, and we're on round 7 now. So there's a lot's happened since then. Do you know what I mean? So I think it might be a bit harsh maybe to compare them at the moment. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, it's just a quick word on Cass, because it's hard to talk about them guys without being too negative. And I've listened to an interview from Ryan Carr today saying they've got plans in place for 2027, but he's concentrating on this year.
They want to be worried now, not next year.
To me, that the mindset's all wrong there, because he shouldn't be coming out in public and saying that in an interview, whether he's thinking it or not.
I think
yes, the week down the middle.
It tells me that they know they're not going anywhere. They're going to be in Super League next year. So it's just ride this out and then see what they do next year. But you need to be putting everything, like, you've got paying fans in there every week and they're being treated to that. It's like, come on, you need to do better than that.
Well, if that's the case, then and there is long-term plans, he needs to throw some youngsters in, because at least they'll have a go. That's the way I see it. If he's not bothered about getting beat and all the rest of it, he needs to throw some more youngsters in there. I just thought it was bizarre even mentioning 2027 when you've had the start they have. I mean, sometimes you can be at the top end of the table and coaches and managers get asked about signings for the following season, etc. But when you're literally propping up the rest of the league, you shouldn't be mentioning anything but the time, what's going to happen in this week's training sessions, rather than in a season's time.
Never look ahead of your next game.
No, exactly, mate. Exactly.
Never mind the next year.
He should know better than that. Just before we have a look at the live table, which is our new thing. Baz, you commented saying about Truman being being really good recently. Yes, he's another ex-Hull FC man. Well, couldn't do it for them, but now he's doing it for Wakefield. What's this, to be honest? I'm expecting much since the bottle lead, 8 minutes to go against the Saints and the Wakey dominance. I seen a comment before that from Bazza as well, Teenage Warrior, that he thinks, are Wigan going to struggle at Wakefield in the Cup? Now, I said the previous week that it's very rarely Matty P doesn't get a reaction out of his team. So if he's going 2 losses on the bounce and doesn't get a reaction in his third game after that, I'd be very surprised. So as poor as Wigan have been in the last couple of weeks, I pretty much I'll back them in the predictors later on to beat Wakefield. I don't know
good
about you
luck because
guys.
you don't get predicted on the Challenge Cup, do you?
Well, you know what I mean. You know what I mean. Our in-house thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, let's have a look at that live table and move on to bad lads.
Yes, let's take a look at the live table. No rivals round is complete. We have Warrington, Leeds, Wigan, Wakefield and Saints all on 10 points. Obviously, points difference is just separating them at the moment. At the foot of the table, we have Castleford, Lee, York and the Huddersfield Giants and Toulouse, all on 4 points, propping the rest up. And in between, we have the Dragons, the Robins, Hull FC and the Bradford Bulls, all on 6 or 8 points. So, yeah, it's starting to take shape now. Obviously, Hull KR and Warrington Wolves have only played 6 games. The rest have played 7. That is due to, obviously, Las Vegas commitments from the Robins. So, yeah, it is taking a bit of shape now. Obviously, we'll keep showing this live ladder every single week, and let's see how much movement there is between now and the end of season. Ultimately, you know, them playoff places are going to start taking shape in the next month or so. So we'll keep an eye on this on a weekly basis moving forward. As with Bad Lads Corner.
Right, so I'll start with the controversial one. Brad O'Neill from Wigan to be referred to further investigation on allegations of spitting. I'm going to be honest, I have seen a clip of it and he does motion like he's spitting, but you don't actually see anything leave his mouth. So it looks to me like he hasn't done it. He's just sort of motioned it, so it is what it is. Your boys have been naughty this week. Tom Amone from OKR. Grade A striking, 1 penalty point, no further action. Peter Eku, OKR again. Grade A late contact on passer, 1 penalty point, no further action. Elliot Minchella, grade B head contact, 3 penalty points and a fine. See, I struggle with some of these names. Honestly, I'm hopeless. I'm struggling with English best of times. Joe Offahengu, I'm going to say there's that. I'm not going to. Grade C head contact, 5 penalty points and a fine. Lewis Brogan, grade A late contact on passer, 1 penalty point, no further action. Matt Davis, grade B dangerous contact, 3 penalty points and a fine. Ethan Havard, grade B head contact, 3 penalty points and a fine. Shane Wright, same thing. Exactly the same. Jesse D, grade A late contact on passer, 1 penalty point, no further action. Ollie Russell, grade A dangerous contact, 1 penalty point, no further action. Jordan Lane, grade A trip, penalty points, 1, no further action. Cruz Leeming, grade A dangerous contact, 1 penalty point, no further action. Joe Caser, grade D head contact, 15 penalty points. It's a 2-match suspension and a fine. I think that's the big one so far. And Romain Navarrete, who is a dirty get anyway. Grade B late contact on passer, 3 penalty points and a fine. So there you go.
Just on that. Sorry, guys. Just on that Joe Cater incident for Toulouse Olympique. I mean, I don't know if you saw it, but I don't think it warrants the 15 points, if I'm honest with you, because that's an accumulation of points. That it can't just be 15 points for one offence, because if it's the offence I thought it was, it went into a tackle and his head bounced off his own player's head and collided with one of the Catalans. So I found that
those
very
15
harsh.
points are the only ones he's got all season.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, it must be.
Penalty points 15, total penalty points 15. So
yeah, well, you're right, obviously, mate. But it just seems a hell of a punishment, and he could argue the case that it was pretty much accidental for the reasons I've just said. So yeah, it's astonishing that's for sure, mate.
Aye. Well, that being said, we're off going to Carl's news round.
Do Jesus Christ, that AI version of me there. I don't know if
I'll
that's
tell you what, it's better looking than the real one.
version. You're here all day, Gaz, aren't you?
Oh, aye.
You're here all day, mate. Yeah, so there's a few bits to discuss, fellas, in terms of news round. Hull KR, they announced the signing of Ryan Hampshire till the end of the season after a successful trial. I think a couple of weeks ago we had Barry on, didn't we, Bazza? And he basically said, you know, what I thought anyway was that he was there for training purposes. So I'll be very surprised if we actually see him put a jersey on for the first team. Funny one, this former Catalan Dragons forward, Taviga Pangai Jr. He's a free agent. He's looking for a club mid-season. Would any of you guys take him at your club?
So the fact that he's been in and out of clubs like that just tells me he's trouble. So I wouldn't touch him with a barge pole, to be honest.
Yeah, no, same.
The only reason I was asking that question, boys, is because maybe one of them new, three promoted teams might take a punt on him. Obviously,
Was he supposed to be at Warrington, then went to Catalan?
Yeah, he signed a deal for.
Yeah.
He signed a deal, didn't he? Then basically, cancelled himself out of the deal. So, yeah.
He's bound to be
there's
trouble
something there with him. There's definitely something there with him because I'd seen him when he played for the Dolphins, and if he gets his head on, he can cause some serious trouble. But unfortunately, since he's been across here, he hasn't took it really that seriously. Obviously, he needs a club. His name's getting touted about again. So we'll watch that one closely. Darryl Powell, he's come out and ruled himself out of the running for the England job because sooner or later we're going to need a candidate for that. We all thought it might have been Willie Peters before he signed for the PNG Chiefs. So that's clearly not going to happen. Darryl Powell did say, I think it was last year, he would have probably took the England job at that time. But the way Wakey are now, he just wants to solely concentrate on obviously propelling them up the Super League and try and win some over there with them.
Yeah. Paul Rowley's thrown his hat in the ring.
Yeah,
he was asked about it. He said, "Oh, well, why not?"
Yeah.
Just on that, fellas, would you two lads be happy to have an head coach do that alongside a full-time role at a club?
Yeah, and I'll tell you why. He's watching these players all the time. Not just his own club, but like he's looking at video of like the next team they're playing and looking back at what they've done. They're looking at all these different players anyway, so they're already doing the job as it is.
I agree. It's almost like doing the role part time, but doing it alongside your other job. Like I say, it's hard. Don't get me wrong, because you'd have to not be stubborn. You'd have to not be biased and mean like, my player's going to go in, etc. Do you know what I mean? You still have to be cautious of everybody else, obviously. But I think it's good, like Gaz said. I think you're still getting going as well. You're not sat down, and you know what I mean. You probably find the fans will probably appreciate it more because it's like they're taking more of an interest, and then they probably will end up picking the right players this time round. Which, like I say, last year were just shocking. We'll just have to see we have to see who we're getting in first.
Yeah, I'm sure all will be revealed, but it needs to be sooner than later because there won't be much time for anybody who ever comes in to put his stamp on the team too much. So it needs to happen ASAP, in my opinion. Some attendance news, fellas. Throughout Rival Round, we've had over 80,000 people attend the games throughout Super League. So we cry and try and get these figures up on a yearly basis, and that looks like that is the case, and it's happening. So fair play to every single person who went to a rugby league round in the Super League this weekend. Please carry on doing so.
Just on the subject of attendances as well, Carl, sorry. It's been revealed that this year's Magic Weekend will be the most attended basically breaking the record of attendance.
Not surprised, to be honest.
Up the toffees.
Out to do with that new stadium.
Oh, there we go. This year's Magic Weekend has also passed a previous record attendance of 68,276 set back in 2016.
Yeah.
So I guess that's just on ticket sales.
Even if there's another 10 more than last year, mate, it's an improvement, and that's ultimately what the sport needs. More eyes on the game. and more eyes on
It's
our
like
products.
It's like the Leeds Bradford game. I'm sure they've said that attendance was biggest they've had in 10 years.
Yeah.
So
It's
everything,
all
doesn't
good, mate, isn't it? Yeah, it's all good. I did make a note on terms of Hull FC injury news, but we touched on that earlier on, didn't we? So I'm not going to talk about them anymore. Last piece of news from News Round. NRL CFO, CEO Angel Abdo, he's heading over to England this week, allegedly, to finalise a takeover from Super League. It is suggested that the NRL will cover the salary cap for each Super League team as part of the deal, but obviously they'll want a majority of the stake within the deal. This could be a really touchy subject, and it could go on for a lot of months. How do you see that going, Jordan? Would you invite a deal from the NRL to make it more substantial?
Yeah, if it's done right. If we can still keep the English game like it is, I don't want it to become a circus. Of advertising there, Carl.
Yeah, I've just touching on Barry's promotional deal, so thought I'd bang my cap on.
Yeah, no, I want it to very much be NRL's NRL and Super League. Do you know what I mean? I want it to be pretty much that, really. You know, with them maybe overshadowing a little bit, but I don't want the English game to be messed up too much, in my opinion.
Yeah, we understand that they're there to help, but obviously they'll want a massive say in what happens throughout our game. I mean, everybody's got a price tag in life. I mean, Gaz, do we want this to happen, really, mate? What are the pros and what are the cons of it all?
Do you know what? I don't think there is any cons of it. The game needs it. Let's face it. The game needs investing in over here. Like, that's just the end of it. There's no way around it. Otherwise, like you see, these teams are starting to go bust now. If nothing gets done, the whole game's going to die. So we do need it. We do need it.
I think a little bit. We're just going to have to swallow our pride with this, aren't we? Just for the good of the game, and try.
I'd rather it come like local, but needs must.
Yeah, I mean,
thing is, I don't feel like they'll get profit because we're not as big as NRL. Do you know what I mean? We're not a multi-billion-pound.
They'll market the game better.
Yeah, sorry.
They'll market the game better. They'll look for a better
TV
deal.
Yeah,
you know, they know what they're doing.
Yeah, I get that. We'll probably get loads of Australian bloody adverts on, won't we?
Not bothered. I don't care.
Crikey, mate. We'll get that for the ad break.
I think, like we said earlier, as we touched on, didn't we? Whatever they do, if it benefits the game in the long run, I'm all for it. Do you know what I mean? And I think people will disagree, people will agree. I think ultimately that's what you've got to do is just look at the bigger picture of what they're trying to achieve, and hopefully that will make us more substantial, sustainable in the long term. So yeah, well, like I say, that story could go on for weeks, if not months. There could be to and fro, couldn't they, between the NRL and the RFL. So we'll keep and watch that one closely. Am I right in thinking we've missed the Jordan's team of the week here? How is that up next?
That's up now.
Oh yeah, we'll get that now. That's me that for having it on full screen, thinking it was all done.
In a world full of adversity, we must dare to dream. Together we rise, no room for fear. In the Super League we rise as one. Friends of the pod, we grow strong. Tune in to the show. As every game keeps us on our toes, with every podcast we unite. Passionate stand, we'll never fall.
Well, there you go.
That's it.
Just before we move on, Cal, I've just remembered something now I was going to plug. There's 2 young lads have been from Blackbrook. If you know Black St. Simon's, the community club. Ryan Cunliffe and Mike Lyons, they've been selected to play for England under 16s, the 4 Nations tournaments, and basically these things don't come cheap. They need funding for like travel expenses, accommodation, and all that. There's a Just Giving page that's been brought to my attention, so I thought, right, I'll plug it on here. We'll put a post out with the link if you want to. No obligation, of course, but it's there if you want to help out.
Yeah, well, it'll be straight in the WhatsApp community page after this pod, and on the other socials as well. So, yeah, that'll be spot on if people can contribute and help towards that. I was just about to say, Jordan, before we move on to the Challenge Cup games that are coming up, who was your first pick out of that 13? Because you just sent a few messages in within our group, didn't you? There was a few what you weren't sure about, mate. Who came to mind as your first pick?
What do you mean? In the
Out your 13, who was your first choice?
what do you mean by dream team?
Your weekly 13 team, which we've just watched. Who was your first?
Oh, which one stood out? Yeah, I'd say Broadbent.
Yeah, I didn't know if the agent Bill Leyland came to mind straight away, because when you put in the group earlier on that, you
I think
weren't
that's
sure.
an obvious one, but I thought Broadbent played really well. Thought he had a good shift in that game. Like I say, there's always going to be a week where I don't pick probably the players I should probably pick, but for me, I was struggling with loose forward this week, and I know Mellor played well at Rhino's game. A lot of players are playing in different positions as well, if you've noticed.
Yeah, I've noticed you put Clemmer at back row and you put December at prop. It should be the other way around.
Yeah, well, it's seen Clemmer played prop, didn't he?
Yeah, he is prop forward, yeah.
I thought he would lose the second rower.
He has played second row for West Tigers before. That's where you might have got mistaken. I was just about to touch on Clemmer before we move on. I know all the plaudits went to Bill Leyland for his antics towards the back end of the Good Friday Derby game, but Clemmer did a full 80 minutes solid, I believe.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're doing that even at a young age, you need to be applauded for that. And I know he's well in his 30s now, Gaz, isn't he? So I think it's an outstanding performance. Apart from his little dive earlier on in the game, I thought it was pretty much spot on throughout the game.
No. What it was, that the blade of grass tripped him up. It weren't his fault.
No sniper, no.
No, I do want to point out as well, if you notice why Tristan Saylor was kicking, because it was rumoured that Jackson Hastings had a hamstring injury going to the game. So that it explains why he was kicking. You see the celebrations in the change rooms. He just takes his ice pack off and lobs it on the floor because he wants to jump around.
That's it, isn't it? It's that's how it goes. I was going to say, Teenage Warrior. I think you're lucky to have Insemba in that team this week. I thought he was bang average. Moving on slowly. Yeah. So this week we've got quarterfinals of the Challenge Cup coming up. Friday we've got Saints versus the Karl and Dragons. Saturday we've got Hull KR versus York Knights and Warrington versus Lee. Sunday Wakefield Wigan. I mean, I'm pretty sure Gaz will get the win over the Dragons, especially being at home, mate.
Yeah, but again, you never know, do you? I mean, like you say, you never know which Catalan's going to turn up there.
No, that's true. Jordan, who do you see winning that one and why, mate?
I'm going to have to say I'm going to have to shoot.
Work commitments.
I'm going to delay otherwise.
We'll wrap up then.
Yeah.
Right, so our special guest this week is Paul Cook. That will be out on Friday, talking all things rugby league. Yeah, go on, get lost. And yeah, so look out for that. Big thank you to everyone for joining us here and joining the comments. We appreciate all of it. Yeah, just keep doing what you're doing, everyone. Keep liking and sharing and subscribing and all that. And remember, the podcast is for the fans, by the fans.